Well, welcome everybody to Ignite Humanity Live. I'm your host, Lady JB Owen, and I'm so happy to be here because we are live on location in Los Angeles, California, and we are here interviewing some amazing guests that are down here in Los Angeles for an incredible movie premiere. Many of them are my friends, incredible people doing incredible things to ignite humanity. And the reason we're here at the show is because we want to share with you ways that you can ignite humanity. That's right. You can step up in your life, in your home, in your family, in your career, in your community, in your neighborhood, and make a big difference. And we all feel the sense of responsibility now more than ever to ignite humanity with small incremental impacts that we can make in our lives. And we're not asking you to do big things, folks. We're asking you to do the little things that make a big impact, and that creates a ripple effect for each and every one of us. So we're going to talk about Ignite Moments, which in my opinion is one of the ways we create that ripple effect, in that we share our authentic story. We tell people about the things that we've been through, the journey that we've been on throughout our lives, and that has created lessons and blessings that have allowed us to ignite our own lives. When we ignite ourselves, we actually ignite the lives of others because we show them through our experience, through our trials and tribulations, the things that we've done just to pull somebody else forward a little. And I think many of us feel the impact of helping another person and how good that feels, because when you help somebody else, well, they'll help you and then they'll help somebody else. And as you can see, that ripple effect really ignites humanity. So we've got a great guest on the show today, but before I get to that, I just want to remind you that February is the month of love, and we're doing some powerful things to ignite the lives of children. We're building schools in Cambodia and Indonesia, and we're using recycled blocks using plastic pulled out of the landfills to build the bricks in the schools. And so our initiative is to inspire you to buy 12 bricks for $12. $1 per brick buys a block that will go into one of our schools. And for Valentine's Day, we are selling bouquets of hope. That means you can spend $12 and buy 12 bricks that will go into our schools and ignite the children. Just go to ignitehumanity.life/hope, and you can be a part of buying a bouquet of hope, and we will send it to your recipient filled with love and joy and ignite someone else's life. Now, if you have never been to Ignite Humanity Live, well, go check us out on Facebook. We show up every single day, Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and you can find us at ignitehumanity.life/watch, where you could see all of our episodes played throughout the year, and you could catch a backstory on somebody else who is igniting the world. All right, well, let's get going, because today is all about solutions. The theme today is really about solutions, and the thing is, folks, we all can create solutions. We all can think of a solution. We can, each and every one of us, think of one way that we can make a big difference in the world. And that big difference is by making a solution to a problem. Many of us see problems. I was on a plane recently and I saw a big puff of white smoke come out of the airplane. And I was like, I should help. I should do something. I should step up and see if I can create a solution here. And so little things show up in your life that you have the ability to create solutions at. It could be with your friends, your family, your neighbors, your loved one, but it always starts from within. And we've got a great guest today talking about how you can support your life, create solutions, and really be the magnet and the example for others. Well, let's not waste any more time. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Kristen Connell is the founder and CEO of the Rewired Mind Method. She's an incredible friend of mine, a great support. I absolutely love having her in my life, and she is here on the show. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. So happy to be here. So happy to connect with you.
I love having you here because we get to talk shop, and at the same time we get to talk humanity, and at the same time we talk about rewiring the mind.
Yes.
And so it's an interesting conversation. I'm sure some people are sitting there saying, rewire the mind. What does that mean? What is that, JB? Kristen, tell us what that means.
So rewiring the mind is really repatterning your behavior, your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. And the way that that's done is going into this deeper layer of the subconscious programs. So I work in subconscious programs and getting to the root of going back in generational imprints, going into the present day, and then also treating anything in the future. And really looking at the big picture that is a deeper dive, that is going deeper than the talk version, talk therapy, all the modalities that are conscious. I go deeper. That's what rewiring the mind is, leveraging neuroplasticity to change.
Big words. I love it. Okay. Big words, neuroplasticity, consciousness, subconscious. Bring it down even a little bit lower. If you were to explain this to somebody in kindergarten, what would you say to them?
Well, in kindergarten, it would be, it'd be more of this is the code that's being written. This, coding is really big right now in school and elementary. So it's the code that's written to create who you are and who you're going to be. The code, we're mostly just dealing in the home screen. I'm going into the mechanisms of the computer system, of the brain, the body, emotional, spiritual, physical.
And the code comes from our parents, our friends, our teachers, all kinds of people in our lives.
Absolutely.
Social media, television.
Yes, it's much deeper than that because epigenetics is really leading the way now. That's a new field that's being really well received, to see that how you are is a generational carry forward of who you're being now. And so even deeper dive to say that your parents, your grandparents, the ancestry is really where some of these root cause issues are coming from.
I think for a lot of people that's new information, but it kind of makes sense. My parents grew up, or my grandparents grew up in Russia. They went through certain things. My mom immigrated to this country. My father grew up in Canada on the farm. Like, there's these things that happen through the generations that have instilled in me, empowered me, or coded me, as you like to say.
Yes, absolutely. It's coded you. And it's so far back that even your parents, great-grandparents, it's even country of origin. When there was a conflict zone, if you were in a conflict zone in country of origin, wherever your lineage is from, that can affect how you operate, how you eat, how you see life. Really, how you're moving through your day can be imprinted from that very long generational trauma that's carried forward into you, just present day. You could not have any trauma that you know of,
right,
but could be experiencing things that you're not sure why you're acting a certain way. And we get into these deep dives every time I'm in a session, every time I'm with a client. I'm always considering that backstory that you may not even be aware of. You don't need to be aware of, because the consciousness knows. Always.
And so if I have a backstory, if I have something going on in my life, or it's generational, you help me understand it, rewire it, recode it,
yes,
bring it to the forefront.
Well, it's not necessary to bring it to the forefront, but we consider it. And when I'm in session, in these, curated one-on-one sessions, when we're in the session, whatever hits, whenever I make a statement, and I know that was the source. We always know. And some experience will happen that will bring that to the obvious nature of that is what you were experiencing. That is what was bringing you to that space of non-productivity, delay, any non-satisfying emotions. I ask people, what are they looking to create? And let's clear the resistance or blocks to it. So you don't need to know, but you will know by the end of the session what it was tied to.
I find it fascinating because a lot of times we're dealing in the here and the now. We hear that so much. Just be in the now. Just think about what is happening right now. How does that connect to this idea?
Well, being in the here and now is wonderful, but the lens through which you're looking is already been designed. So if the here and the now is a lens that's not exactly clear, or not filled with kindness and love and peace and balance, your lens is dirty. So your here and now is not going to be fulfilling.
I really appreciate you saying that. Now, rewiring and recoding, a lot of big words. We started the day off talking about solutions a little bit. So does some of your work help people come up with some solutions?
Well, so in each session, what happens is you become more clear about what the problem is and what it isn't, and how big it is or isn't. And by clearing it, you get to see that there are more expansive solutions. One of the biggest things that I've seen solve for these issues is forgiveness. Wow. And really deep layers of forgiveness. And we've had lots of conversations around forgiveness, and, your book about forgiveness that I was happy to be a part of.
You were an international best-selling author in.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm so grateful to be a part of that and to be a part of that journey, because I got to share my story about coming into this protocol, into this process, how I discovered this. And when the key turned in the lock, it was with forgiveness.
Wow. So talk about that, because we often share and we talk about it all the time on the show, that ignite moments, that moment that sparks change, that moment that changes our thinking, recodes, rewires our thought patterns, actually unlocks the possibility of what we can do going forward.
Yes.
And so forgiveness was one of those.
Absolutely. Forgiveness was one of those. And my story goes back in being exposed to a neurotoxin and having a lot of things really fall apart. But when they fell apart, they really fell together, because before this, I was not doing this, but I needed to find solutions. And I was absolutely dialed into the solutions. It was a non-negotiable for me. So as much as I could have stayed in a story of victimization or feeling sad or feeling sorry, I really kicked it into high gear. And I think because of my children, I wanted to be able to have their future be more elevated and advanced than what I was experiencing. So when I kicked into the solutions mode, I actually benefited from those solutions, and forgiving the experience and the exposure and all the players of that, story created a shift in everything about it. And the magic keeps showing up because I continue to forgive any event. Now I can forgive immediately. I have it auto-programmed that I can just look at it and say, I need to forgive this. It's showing me something. I need to glean something from this. And it's been the most empowering thing that I've done for myself.
Well, folks, if you have a pen and paper, please write down when things fell apart. When they fell apart, they fell together. What was it?
When they fell apart, they fell together.
When they fell apart, they fell together. Like, I love that. So you've got to write it down. When they fell apart, they fell together. And so that leads to the fact that something, and I think many of us, we feel like when something isn't perfect, it's not right. And yet you're saying that when it's not perfect, it's actually perfectly right.
It had to go exactly the way it went for me to step into a new version of me that I know I'm designed to be. I know I'm designed to do this. I know I'm designed to have this conversation with you. I know that I'm designed to have a bigger conversation with people in the community, in the world, to say, you don't have to stay where you are, but look at, in a deeper dive, go into the subconscious mind, whether that's through meditation or any type of deeper connection to yourself, and get somebody to help you, get someone to assist you in this journey. Once you get some levity about it,
right,
it's fun.
Right.
It's fun. I tend to not be so grim about things. I'm optimistic. I say, where do you want to move to? What do you want to create? Let's move there. Let's dance differently with life. And let's have some joy and levity and really relax into the process. Because I can say, in all the things that have happened to me that have been, seemingly tragic, they had to be so tragic that I would move, that I would shift, and I would change my habit.
They had to fall apart to come together.
Yes.
So perfectly well said. And I wanted to ask you, is that a lot of people feel like they're that's happening to them over and over again. Things are falling apart and falling apart. Is that something that's coded in them?
Absolutely. And that's part of the coding of the generations, that you will have similar situations that will happen generationally, whether it be you have the same type of relationships where someone comes in, a business manager will take your money, a partner will do, X, Y, Z, whatever it is, these patterns keep running through life and you keep dancing with them in the same way. And there are people that are pattern breakers in life. I chose to be a pattern breaker. In my world, I said, enough. I will not pass this to my children. I will create a new paradigm, a new dynamic.
Igniting humanity, right?
Yes.
Because you're making a decision that the things that you've been through, or your grandparents or your great-grandparents, you're actually deciding that you don't want to pass those on to your children. And I want to go back to forgiveness for a moment, because imagine the world if we all were a bit more forgiving.
Yes.
I mean,
so good.
Right? I was saying to a friend of mine, imagine if two men were in a room and realized that both of their sons had died, and they stood up and hugged each other to show the sense of compassion and forgiveness for the situation, realizing that they may have been from two different countries with two different wars on opposing sides, but the ability to forgive really actually, it was all about the story of their lives versus their nationality or where they came from.
Yes.
And so you really get into the root of where people are on a really core level. It's not about the color of our skin.
No.
It's not about the language we speak.
We're all connected.
Right.
We're all connected. And through this forgiveness, kindness has become the key to everything. And what I've noticed with each person that I come in contact with, sometimes the person they're most unkind to is themselves.
So true.
Yes. And breaking that pattern first, putting the oxygen mask on yourself first, before you can share kindness or share forgiveness. Most people are not forgiving themselves. They're not kind to themselves. The stories they tell themselves are not optimized for where they want to be. So they stay in this cycle, this pattern, and this paradigm that doesn't serve their highest value, their highest desires, and their highest outcome of a productive, successful, maybe not even happy, just content life, to be content and balanced. That's really what we're all seeking, is this balance.
Yeah, we love that. And we're live, so we get to hear things like that happening outside.
That's usually confirmation that what I'm saying.
Right? That's right. A little volume on that. Rev it up. Exactly. You know, you and I are friends. We talk, we work together. You and I earlier today were sharing how this moment right here, being here today, all the things that we're doing, the impact that we're making, you saw this, you felt this at a time in your life when that seemed not possible. Can you talk about that?
Yes. So I was told a very, many years ago, when I was at home with my children and I had the option to stay at home, I was told that there would be a bigger calling, a bigger ask of me, and I would step into it. And I said, I don't see a way to do that. But when I had faith and I trusted and I surrendered to the process, the things started to show up for me. All the key players, all the components came together. And to this day, I say, whoever's coming into my atmosphere is designed for me.
Right.
They have a message for me. What message am I going to be delivered? What am I going to take from this? And how am I going to use it to leverage a better reality for myself today and tomorrow?
I actually tell my kids, imagine if every single person you met, for any reason, bumped into on the street, had to jostle at the airport, somebody that just handed you your change at the gas station. Imagine if every person you met, it was actually perfectly designed that you meet that person because they have something to show you and something to teach you. Wouldn't we act so much differently if we knew that every small, brief interaction was actually manufactured and designed brilliantly?
Yes. And I see now that I invite my clients, I say, when you are triggered, when something is bringing attention, notice what that is. Notice, because there's something there for you to focus on or to discover or dive deeper in. These triggers, even to today, the goal is not to be triggered. The goal is to say, what is it about this that I need to look at and notice and dive deeper into? So each person has a gift to offer you. And whatever that gift is, to take that away and say, let's layer this into my life. Let's layer this into my experience, and then create a bigger vision for how we're all connected and how to stay in that kindness state, how to stay in that forgiveness state. And then the magic just happens. I don't believe in coincidences. I don't.
No.
I really don't. And I do believe there's a higher consciousness that we can tap into. And once you get out of your own story and into the bigger story, that's when really the magic is just, it's imminent. It's imminent.
And we're all connected. Like this is not a new concept that we're not all connected. We are all connected. And when we realize we're all connected, it actually makes us feel more responsible for our actions and brings a big sense of compassion and empathy. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I just noticed when I'm moving through my day, when I behave in a way that has kindness and empathy and compassion and really like a deeper connection with the person next to me, whether it's at the checkout, whether it's on the phone, whatever, even if I have time or don't have time, when I pause and say, there is a connection here and I'm going to be sensitive to what this is and really extend that energetic kindness to each person, it gives me feedback. It gives me, it's really feeding me, and it's a debit credit. Each day is a debit credit. And there will be times when there's a bigger ask, a bigger debit, and there will be times when there's a bigger credit. But I really help people say, you know what, find the balance, find the dance, find how it's going to be more satisfying so that once we clear away these programs, these codes, you get to have more fun in your day and say, I am connected. How can I be more connected to myself first and then others?
I actually have a game that I play with my kids about, like, when they ask me for something, I'll be like, is this a deposit or a withdrawal? You know, like, are you depositing into our relationship, into the mother-child, into the family, into the community, into us? Is this a deposit or is this a withdrawal? And it makes them think about it slightly. And in that thought, they're realizing, because if they say deposit, deposit, withdrawal, 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 they're actually very conscious of how they're living their lives and interacting with others. And I think sometimes we all need to be realizing, are we making a deposit or are we making a withdrawal?
And bringing the awareness, even just one degree of awareness, bringing the consciousness to any situation is key. Just to say, well, I'm observing myself. I'm observing how I'm reacting.
Right.
So just bringing the awareness and the consciousness is magic in and of itself.
Right. Absolutely. So today is all about solutions. I'd love to get some solutions. You are very solution oriented, as am I. We could talk and talk and talk, but let's layer in some solutions, because people at home are watching and they're feeling like, you know what, maybe I do have some coding in me. Maybe there's some things that I've been allowing in my life. Maybe I could use a little bit of reframing to actually get me where it is I want to go. And in doing that, you know what? We can ignite humanity. What are some solutions that you have?
Well, I think identifying your emotions is really key. Identifying and saying, I had this experience and I felt. Delineating, what is it that you felt? Getting there first. And then going into a meditation or a session where you go into the deeper dive into subconsciousness. There's so many free things that you can do. When I first started my journey, everything I did was free. I would look online and say free meditation, free hypnosis, free subconscious reprogram. It's all there.
It's true.
It's all there and it's free. And I didn't know how to meditate. I'm not saying that I could just sit there and, be quiet with myself. When you're in a state where you're feeling triggered, it's sometimes difficult to be quiet with yourself. Finding a guide, a mentor, a meditation that's really leading you through the path to have a new result or a new outcome. And then finding someone that has the solutions, that can show you, help you, coach you. I still have my own coach that I lean towards. I mean, we all need somebody that is where we're going to. We all need someone to show us, just like any athlete or professional. They have mentors, they have coaches, they have leaders, because we're not trained to do this. There's no social or school or
handbook.
No, there's nothing. We're just dropped in and said, hey, figure it out. The people that have the desire, that want to create something better, will find the solutions. And if you need help, of course, finding someone that can create a bigger dimensional reality for you is important.
And let's unravel the string just a tiny bit more, because many of us have the answers inside ourselves. We actually know what we need. We know what's going to bring value to us. And sometimes we need to look out and try somebody else's modality and think about it, but ultimately always checking in with self.
Yes. And your intuition will tell you. And once you get out of this state of fight or flight or traumatized or triggered, you can really dial into what your intuition is telling you. And this gut feeling, it's scientifically studied that it is not just a feeling. It is you are getting a sensation of guidance, dialing into your own guidance system so that you're not consistently outsourcing your happiness, well-being ideas. You are starting to insource. What do I notice? How does this sit with me? How does it resonate? And if it doesn't resonate, what kind of change do I need to make in my reality, in my life, in my practices? Self-care is very, very big. And if you're not taking time to sit and notice, then you probably aren't taking time to make change.
So let's have some fun. Are you up for it?
Absolutely.
So when I say ignite humanity, what's the one word that you feel will be the solution?
Kindness.
Kindness, absolutely.
Kindness.
When I use the word ignite, what is one way that you could take that word and create a new dictionary for? Like, I've asked people, like, if you had the Ignite dictionary, is there another way you could use the word ignite that would sort of like emulate what you're up to?
The word that came to my head is ineffable, like undescribable.
Oh, right.
It's the unidentified. We don't know where the flame is going. We don't know where the fire is going. We know that it's just lit. And we want to have this expansiveness about the flame, right? So the ineffable is really powerful in everything that I do, because it's not yet defined. The path is not created yet. And the Ignite Humanity moment is about let's navigate towards the better, the raising, the highest version of ourselves and humanity overall.
Right. And we're not going to get it right out of the gate. We need to figure this out together. And that's why this show is here, because we don't have the answers. We all need to have the answers together. And going back to the collective, we actually know that if we work together and create this more conducive, collaborative, cohesive, sharing, we will figure it out.
Absolutely. And we find people that we connect with, and we know that we're going to in lockstep do these big initiatives together, because really we do create this infinity, this feedback loop of that we are creating and shifting the paradigm with each conversation that we have, whether it's on camera or in person or having coffee. Every conversation is important. Every conversation is creating the intent and the intensity to drive to a new future. That's really what I would like to create for my children, for myself, for my clients, for anyone in the community, for anybody that's seeking something new. There are solutions and there are people having these conversations. Just have to connect with them.
That's right. So how can people find you and connect to you?
Yes. So The Rewired Mind is my website. And I am in this film, Beyond Limitations. It's coming out. Don and Melinda Boyer are hosting, and it's a really magnificent project. And so my website is the main way to connect with me. And I'll be constantly shifting what I'm doing and upgrading and up-leveling so that everyone can have the experience in this life that they choose.
Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Yes.
Well, if you want to know more about Kristen, of course, you can check her out at Ignite Forgiveness. She is one of the amazing authors in our book, and you can go to ignitehumanity.life and you can check out all the books that we're publishing. 700 authors have shared their Ignite moments. And of course, I'd love to reiterate some of the things that Kristen said. I mean, you really have the power to ignite your life, and you just have to look at the ways that you've been programmed or you've been doing things and realize that you can rewire some of that and step into the new version of you. And of course, as we come together and we bond as individuals and as a community, we really do raise the vibration of what is possible. One of the first principles of the Ignite Humanity principles is igniting what is possible. And we want to ignite that in each and every one of you. So if you'd like to watch this episode or any of our episodes, please go to ignitehumanity.life/watch. And you can see what Kristen's been up to. Check out this episode again, and then see what all of our other guests have been sharing on all of our other episodes. It's a completely free platform. We don't sell you anything. We just ask that you sign up and get access to everything. Now, if you're traveling and you want to check us out, go to Ignite, our Facebook page on Ignite Television, and you can watch this show live on your phone and not miss any of the great information and great ways to ignite humanity. And of course, if you want to tell us your story, and if you've got an Ignite moment and you are igniting humanity, go to ignitehumanity.life/share and fill out our type form. We'd love to hear what you're up to, and we'd love for you to tell us what your friends and neighbors are up to with their igniting humanity, and put a little bit of information so we can reach out to them. And last but not least, please enjoy the opportunity to ignite a child's life through our bouquet of hope. Go to ignitehumanity.life/hope, and you could buy 12 bricks for $12 that'll go towards building our school. Well, there's so much going on in the world, and as you can see, our guests are doing fabulous things, but primarily they've come here today because they want to help ignite you. They want you to know that you can do it. And it wasn't long ago that many of them may be where you are right now, but they decided to take the decision to do something different in their lives and ignite themselves in a way that they know could make a difference on the planet. It just takes one step, those little incremental steps that we can take that can create massive impact for everyone. Well, I'm your host, and I'm happy to be here. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for being here.
Now, more than ever, we need to come together to connect with one another. We need to feel the truth in who we are and let go of everything that's happened in the past. We need to empower every person on the planet and awaken hearts, enliven souls, come together, laugh, play, rejoice, connect, create, and love. It's time to to ignite humanity. We want you to be a part of something that will impact the future for everyone. We want you to tell your story, share your Ignite moment, show people who you truly are. Be a part of igniting humanity and making a difference in the world and all of our futures.